Do you agree with me that there's a difference between religious marriage and state marriage? Meaning you don't need the state to be married in a religious sense.
Yeah, because you're
So
married.
if a man wanted to be in a religious marriage with you and not a state marriage, would you have any objection to that?
I guess that would depend on like the content of it, because it's like, how are you going to financially function with a partner if it's not legally?
What do you mean? The same way that everybody and their brother who's not married and cohabitates financially does this with their partner right this second, which is the overwhelming
Well, I've
majority
also
of
never been married, so I don't know the full extent of how that goes. You
can
know.
have a joint bank account with somebody who's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
your
okay.
spouse.
Joint, you can have all the same things. You have all the same things. There's just no state involved.
I guess no,
You wouldn't have any objection to that, right?
because it's holy matrimony.
Great. Well, then if that's the case, what if he says to you, all I want you to do is sign this contract that says that the state can never get involved in our marriage?
I thought a prenup is just that.
No. The answer to my question. My question is, what if he asked you to just sign a contract that said the state can never be allowed in our marriage? We're married through the church instead. Would that be acceptable?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a prenup.
I thought a prenup was more of like just strictly financial.
The prenup is saying we're not ever going to involve the state because we have now done away with all the conditionals that if this relationship does not work out, the state cannot come in and say A, B, and C, and D.
Oh.
This has already been litigated before there was ever a need to litigate it, right?
Well, then, yeah,
So if
that
it is
makes
true that you're
sense.
fine with a religious marriage, absent the state, and fine with signing a contract saying the state can never come in and litigate, then that means that you're fine with signing a prenup.
Okay, yeah. I guess my idea of a prenup was wrong, but yeah, that makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you? Because to me, it's like Brian said.
Well, you just answered your own question.
Yeah.
What do you mean, why wouldn't you? You're absolutely fine going into a religious marriage and exiting the state from it and signing a contract that the state can't get involved, then you're fine with a prenup.
Well, yeah.
Well, I think at least in 2024 and beyond, because men, I don't think most men, but I think many men these days are waking up to understand what happens if you get into marriage and you didn't sign a prenup. They can look at celebrities and stuff like that. What happens if there's a divorce? If your woman divorces you and you make more money than her and you didn't sign a prenup. But also men are looking at the men who signed prenups, and those prenups are being thrown out of court. The judge is like, I don't care what you sign, you still gotta give her half and give her alimony. So most guys are looking at that. So they're like, why am I even gonna get married? But then on the flip side, the women are like, if you're gonna get me to sign a prenup, you don't love me. But the men are like, that means you only want me for my money. So it's a dance. It's crazy, but I think it would be fair if both people can agree that, hey, I don't want you for your money, keep your money on the prenup. The prenup would be best, right? But I understand it from the man's perspective, I understand it from the woman's perspective. But the issue is the laws in the family court favor women in divorce. So at the end of the day, if a woman is not ready to sign a prenup, most guys are going to think she wants him for the money.
Yeah, because if you're going into the marriage worried about money, then it's like, why are you getting married?
Right?
Oh, no,
yeah,
but she's
sign a
still
prenup,
objecting to
yeah.
the prenup.
No, I'm not.
No objection. Yeah.
You are still objecting to the prenup.
No, it makes sense to sign a prenup if you.
But you just said, well, why are you getting married then?
No, why would you be getting married with your sole focus is about money?
Yeah, so you object to the prenup.
No, I'm saying
So prenup fine, but also...
if you're objecting to a prenup, it's because you're worried about financial states.
the woman is objecting to it.
Right. So she's so worried about money going into this marriage, and it's like, well, you guys work together in the marriage. And am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making sense.
Okay.
You had something.
Yeah, I just remember reading like this stat, and I don't know how accurate it is, but it's like 50% of marriages ending in divorce isn't accurate for like first-time marriages. The number's kind of skewed for people who've been married like 2 or 3 times,
Sure.
and those marriages usually end and so it kind of like skews the
Sure, absolutely.
the data there. So
Sure. Is there
I think,
further...
yeah, just kind of like I think there's maybe more reason to get married if you're getting married to the right person and it's your first time, then there's a less.
Sure, there's less, if it's the first time getting married, there is a less of a risk,
Yeah.
suppose.
But also, like, if you have kids, I mean, I think it's better to be married.
Why?
I read in my, like, kids, it was like child development or something like that, and I don't know
Oh, so it's
why.
soft science?
No, not.
Oh,
it's-
not even the science? Okay, go ahead.
It's well, I don't know, but I just read it in my child development class, and
Yeah.
it was just basically that people who come from a married household, like, have I don't know, they are more successful.
They can be. It's not a guarantee.
I think it's people who come from a two-parent household. I don't think it's mainly just married, but as long as the mom and dad and the kids live under the same household, the same roof, the kids usually have a better chance of coming out as productive citizens of society, right? Compared to either divorced parents, one kids are being shared 1 week the other side, 1 week the other side, or the father is completely, out of the picture, the mom is completely out of the picture, they don't see each other, so the kids have to travel in between. So that's different. So I don't think it's just about, the wedding and the marriage guarantees the kids are going to turn out good. I think it's about the kids are under the same roof. They see a dynamic between mom and dad when they need them.
Not a
though.
guarantee, but it's like
Highly likely.
it's more likely that you will have a successful child if you are married.
Is it more likely you'll have a successful child, or is it that people who are married happen to have more successful children? Like, I don't think it causes it necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know for sure.
Was there something more that you had, or was that?
I mean, it was those two.
Okay. Yeah. I have to read this really quick. Legendary Trash Panda. I better get legendary status for this. Stop interrupting. Stop interrupting. Just stop. Okay.
That was from
Thank you, legendary Trash Panda. Really appreciate it. Okay, wait. So Nessa, going back to you, the marriage thing kind of started with you here. You said it was weird. Your friend kind of took over the conversation. Can you articulate why it's weird to not want to get married?
Well, for me, it's weird because I'm religious. And, like, so coming from it from a secular point of view, obviously I'm going to think it's weird. Because for, like, Christians getting married is, like, a really big deal. Like, more of a big deal than it is secularly, I think. Because it's a
Does
commitment
the,
you make to God as well.
It's a blessing.
Is the
And it's
let me ask you
considered a
though,
blessing.
the state is the state religious?
The state, like, California,
No, the state, the
state.
government.
the government, no.
No. Okay. So when you get divorced from your husband, does your religion oversee it, or does the state oversee
The
your
state.
divorce?
If you're married legally through the state, then the state would.
Which most people are,
Yeah.
even if they're religious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you're the most well-to-do Christian, both the partners are very pious and devout, and they adhere to the faith. In the event of a divorce, that kind of all goes out the window, even for religious people, because your religion does not it does not oversee your marriage. The state oversees your marriage.
That is true. By the end of the day, I understand where the women are coming from. If the divorce court or family court laws were in favor of men, I think men would also want to get married. If they knew they're going to get paid and this and that, the men would be just like women saying, you should get married. The women don't care, because most women know they're going to get married to a man who's going to provide majority of the bills and pay for majority of the bills. So women don't have any issues proposing marriage and being for marriage and shaming men who don't want to get married, because they know in case of divorce, the family court laws will be in favor of them. So I understand where they're coming from. But it's now getting harder and harder to convince men why they should get married. If they know they're going to lose the house and the kids and everything and pay alimony, I think even worse than losing your house and losing your kids, most guys don't want to get married because they know if there's a divorce and they have to pay spousal support or alimony, there's nothing as bad as paying someone money every month to sleep in a house you bought and have sex with other people in the house you bought and you're paying them. I think that's the main reason why men don't want to get married. I'm telling you, I think, in my opinion. Anyway, link down below to whatever podcast. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Andrew. Till next time. Peace.